Hey, well, good afternoon, everybody. It's Dave coming to you from the paddock here in Southern Maryland. It is Wednesday before Thanksgiving. It's around noon, 12:30, something like that. Anyway, I wanted to do a CEO school. We haven't done a CEO school in a while. This is the third in the new CEO series. So we'll do a quick review. There is a playlist called CEO School, but CEO School item number one in the new series was really talk about you have to, if you're going to start a side gig or start your own business, you have to get good at measuring the things you don't want to measure. You've got to get good at measuring your revenue, your costs, your profit, and then your unit count, whether that be hours you sold or HVACs you sold or engine swaps or pipes you made, whatever it is. You have to get good at measuring those things and comparing them to your plan. And the plan is what we're going to talk about today. But anyway, CEO school, item number one is you have to get good at measuring revenue, costs, profit, and whatever units you're selling. You have to get good at that by week, by month, by quarter, by year. Otherwise, you have no idea how you're doing and if this venture is making money or not. CEO school item number two in the new series was is it working? Is this shit working? So when you compare your revenue, it's not working. You're comparing your costs, it's not working. You're comparing your margins or your profitability, it's not working. Your productivity or efficiency, as far as how many units are you producing that versus what you thought you would. What's working, what's not working, and then take the not working and start analyzing. So that was part two. Part three, which really should have been part one, is you got to have a plan. Okay, so your plan. You really should not start a side gig, a side venture, a side business, or create your own business without a plan before you do it. And I mean, how much money are you going to make? What are you making? What are you selling? What are your costs to do that? And what's your expected profitability? I do it by month. So I have a 13-column spreadsheet each month, and then the total for the year. And then it's got multiple lines. Every type of revenue I'm expecting, and then a revenue total section, and then all my expenses in their own lines, and then a cost summary. And then the profitability is easy. It's just your sales minus your costs equal your profitability. But the question is, what the hell did you base it on? And I've advised many people who have considered starting, on how to plan for it. And there's a major mistake I would beg you to stay away from. And that's to tell me how much revenue you're going to make based on how much you have to make to cover your costs. That has nothing to do with each other. How much revenue you're going to make is market-based, product-based. Has nothing to do with your costs. Your costs are derived from the profitability you expect to make or the revenue you intend to make. I've had several people that started shops, stores, pipe companies, knife companies, a bunch of others that what they ended up showing me was what they thought their costs were going to be, and then saying, well, that's how much revenue I need to make. That is a recipe for it never working. That's a recipe for going out of business. So how should you do it? The best way to develop a revenue model is to model yourself after somebody you know who's successful. If you're going to open up a tobacco store, what's the store you're modeling yourself after? If you're a pipe manufacturer, who are you modeling yourself after? If you're a knife manufacturer, who are you modeling yourself after? If you're going to open up a cigar lounge, which lounge are you managing or planning, modeling yourself after? And build a revenue, cost, profitability model that is based on something. It can't just be based on what you think it's going to be, because that is another recipe for going out of business. So the real thing I'd like you to take away from this video is, if you're intending on starting a side gig, a side company, or your own business, and you hope to someday move away from your job or your career and into your own things, which I highly recommend. I mean, it's how I got to where I am. But if you're going to do that, do it based on a plan, and make sure that plan is based on something out there in the real world that you know is working, is successful, and that you want to be like. So for example, I consulted with a guy who opened up his own cigar, tobacco, vape lounge. And one of the things I asked for was on a spreadsheet was, how many cigar types are you going to sell, and how many of each do you plan on selling by month over the next 12 months? And how many vape products are you going to sell, and how many of each do you plan on selling each month over the next 12 months? And what are those numbers based upon? Are you just making them up, or are you basing them on a successful cigar and vape shop? And how does your location, really compare to the location you're mapping it against? Pipe manufacturers, I work with several of those guys, and how many pipes a month do you need to make to be successful? And what price point are you planning to sell your pipes at? And can you find somebody that is doing that now? Because you say, well, I'm going to make 10 pipes a month and I'm going to sell them for $300 a piece. Who are you modeling? Who's doing that successfully now? And if the answer is nobody, then I would really say that's yet another formula for failure, thinking you're going to be the first. You're going to create something unique that this world has never seen before. Now, it's possible, but not probable. So, and kind of what these guys have done once I've gotten in there, realized the plan is really hard. And it takes a lot of thought. And a lot of guys go, well, I'll just tell you how much it costs me to make 10 pipes a month. I'll just tell you how much vapes and cigars cost me. I'm just going to tell you how much the lease or the rent is. I'm going to tell you how much my employee costs are going to be. And I'm just going to use that. The other thing I see people do is saying, well, I'm going to make this many of X, I'm going to sell this many of Y, and I'm going to do that every month with no seasonality, no sense of January and February are much different than July and August. And the third thing I would say is, you've got to build a ramp-in period. The first month is not going to be as productive as your 12th month. So you need to build a 6-month, 9-month, 12-month ramp from zero each month as a staircase to get to what you think you're going to do based on your plan, based on the person you're modeling yourself against. Because to say you're going to start out in the first month or second month and be fully productive is yet another formula for failure. So there's just a number of ways to fail, and if you don't plan it right, that is one of the biggest. And it's hard work. It's not fun creating your units, your count, your revenue, your cost for each, and really project it and be able to justify why you type in each number into that spreadsheet. So anyway, I'm not gonna go on much longer. I'm just gonna say, CEO school discussion number 3 is, build yourself a plan and know what that plan is based on, and what it is based on had better be something working out there in the real world, or you at real risk of not making money and actually maybe losing money and doing the opposite for you that you thought. I hope this helps. I've had a number of people say you'd like me to get back on my CEO stuff. So here's the first one. Ask questions, push back, and that's it. We'll see you on the next video. Bye, everybody.